Hello everyone, welcome to another version 15 Wolfram Language design review. And today we have a couple of these. The first one is about machine learning. Where are we starting?
So we have a couple of things about design and naming of things.
Graphic design.
So design, we have like three things to look at mostly. One is the fit report. One is the model information panel that incorporates some things I suggested last time. And the last one is the typesetting of the model
Well,
itself.
let's start with the thing people are going to see most often, which is the model typesetting.
Mhm.
Okay. So my understanding is there are things where you can show something about what the actual content is, and there are ones where you cannot.
Yes. So right now the rule is if I have an expression. So ideally, when the model is fitted and you have like concrete values for parameters, I show the expression as you see in the evaluated one below. If I if I don't, I show hyperparameters if I have them, or just the standard variables and parameters, and I use dashes if they
How
are
long are you
unspecified.
prepared to make this? Okay, so this is that's the maximum length, right?
Yeah, this is a simulation as well. You see the 20
No, I see that.
angle brackets. This is it's a bit of a hit or miss because short inside the typesetting form of the summary box is not really counting lines correctly. So I use it a bit more than one line, but ideally it should be like one notebook width.
Well, I mean, that should be fixed because short, I think, has the if you set, I mean, it's very old code, this, some line width thing, then short will do the right thing.
Yeah, in short does the right thing for the input it was prepared to deal with. I think it I will know more, but it's probably strings or like a row or integer or something like that. When you have like more complicated nested expressions, you have to overshoot it a bit to get otherwise it gets too aggressive. But I mean, I did a bunch of like tests and it
Okay, I'm sure
was
we can.
fine so far.
Can you communicate with whoever knows how that works in detail? So we
Okay,
get
yeah,
someone who's more qualified.
I'll figure out. I'll
Right,
figure out
but
like
we don't want to see it just say angle bracket one.
no, exactly. But yeah, this is why I overshoot it a bit. Because it's but in general I get your point. Yeah, we were too conservative at the beginning, and over the course of development we tune it. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I
it
I
loses
feel like
pace.
this is a little bit long. I feel like it should stop about there.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Now these ones, the curves are actually real curves, right?
As much as we can, yes, either real curves or like the dominant thing. We are working to add domain information, so
They
you
can
can actually
be
plot it correctly.
they can be multivariate
I know.
and in the future vector valued also.
Right. So it's way too complicated. But what can we show there?
I mean, for example, in the power model, we can show, like if you have one, you can show the dominant power. Otherwise, it becomes literally an icon. I mean, I mean, my goal here
Not
is
particularly useful. If there's a single power, it's always going to look like that. All powers are similar, right?
well, no, because it could be less than one, or could be negative. It will
Okay.
go.
It's
It
either
will
going to
be
go up
different.
or down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It could be concavity and then up or down. So you still get some information, not
Okay.
completely useless. And other models like the nearest, for example, I give you a hint of like how many neighbors are on or neighbors are used. Of course, I stop at a certain point. If you put 100
Well,
neighbors, I'm not going to put 100 points.
but are these points real points or not?
No, because otherwise it doesn't work in an icon. It's too
So
It's
that's
already
an
difficult.
icon. So these could also be icons. Because
If you want
honestly,
to
no,
drop it and have all icons, we can
no,
do that. The untrained one is all icons. Yeah,
let me
because it
make a
doesn't.
point about this. Okay. The
Hmm?
polynomial model knows from its hyperparameter what order it is,
Yes.
right? That's the only thing what order and maybe the sign of the leading coefficient. But
Yeah.
you shouldn't be using anything else. There's no point. I mean, these things we should decorate them to be more useful. I mean, that's a straight line and that's useful. But in this cubic curve, we can exaggerate. It's just a question of what, we can just exaggerate it. So it's clear. I don't even know why it's concave up like that. I think it would go the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because we don't have a domain yet. If we want to use it, but I see your point. It's probably better to drop this at this point and just
Okay.
check the leading coefficient and make it
Right.
more
And then
iconic.
it's iconic. If
Iconic.
it's linear, it's a straight line. If it's
Yeah.
a power, it's, we just have some family of icons here that go from a quadratic that's somewhat lazy, upward thing to a, 10th power, which is very aggressive, has a little hook at the end and then it aggressively goes up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the untrained one, for example, if you do polynomial model mapped over range 10, you'll see that because that's purely an icon. Just to get an idea what it can be.
What am I doing?
Range 10, for example. You see, this is what you mean, yeah?
Yes. Well, that's not bad. I think that's pretty reasonable. I think it's more useful than these down here. Honestly,
Okay. Easy changed.
Don't seem particularly useful. Okay. So these other icons, is that what we're going to call it? Neural model?
I have a discussion point today because we didn't like neural model. It was quite broad. So we were looking at something like feed-forward model or perceptron model or MLP, multi-layer perceptron model.
How common is that model on its own, as opposed to a transformer model, as opposed to something else?
I mean, it's not common from these fancy, frontier application, but here we're talking about fitting curves. So it's absolutely way more common than having a big transformer that is basically untrainable with the type of data you have in these problems. Now we have to look at that in context. This is meant to be, oh, cool, I have this data set. Let's also fit a neural network. Yeah? But you have no idea because you come from statistics. And a lot of people, at every course we do, they ask, oh, how do I build a neural network? And this is meant to give you like a kind of a gentle nudge into the space.
Right. What about something like MLP net model?
Like MLP net model? Okay. Okay.
What does MLP stand for?
Multi-layer, multi-level? Don't remember which one.
Perceptron.
Multi-layer perceptron.
I kind of think it's useful to have net in the name.
Yeah, I mean, is our go-to prefix for all these neural network thingy, so it kind of rhymes. I don't mind perceptron. I mean, it's like abuse of notation here because perceptron is, strictly speaking, has one hidden layer. But I mean, people, I think, will forgive us. Do we plan to use acronyms more, like support vector machine? Do we call it SVM model or support vector machine model? I'm going to add it in the next version.
I don't know. I think support vector machine spelled out in that case. I think.
I mean, I do use autocomplete with the matching the capital letters a lot. So basically, if you type SVMM, you get it already. So
right. Okay. So here, do we need more icons for these models, or do we have the icons we need?
I mean, here I was doing. If you see what I put here, I was testing.
Lines.
I was testing dash line.
Jeremy, these are uninitialized things. I mean, how can I tell? I mean, that's really subtle that that's uninitialized.
Did this get lighter? That last time we met, we talked about lightning, maybe in a different context.
It is a bit lighter. It could be more more light.
I
I look
suggested
into
a
putting
dotted,
a dash.
dash frame if we can.
Yeah, look into that. That's more complicated than simply doing this,
Yeah, I
unfortunately.
understand.
But if
Yeah.
I can, I'll do the dash, the dotted or dash, the
Dotted,
frame.
dotted frame.
Dotted. Okay, dotted frame of the summary box. That
For now, you
that's-
could go lighter. You could cut it back even more.
Okay. Okay. I don't know if I should do the line thinner. I was struggling a bit with finding a good dashing spec for this. Maybe we should just meet up
But wait,
outside and
this dashing here,
yes.
that's not terrible, but I think it's going to be more useful to see a dotted
Look,
thing around the
look,
outside.
plot theme. There is a bunch of
Oh, but
dashing.
wait. But you mean the whole summary box or just the frame of the?
No, just this frame here, I was thinking.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I
No, no,
misunderstood. No, that is
No,
totally
I mean,
possible. Then.
maybe it would be better to do the whole thing. It would be better to do the whole thing.
I should have said anything. The whole thing is way more difficult. But I can start with a frame. That's going to be easy.
Mhm.
Okay,
I can do
fine.
that immediately.
Jeremy, do you want to mock it up? Just can you do it trivially?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, let's go back to this other stuff here. Model information. Look, an icon that bland is not going to help anybody by having the icon.
We could just drop it and keep it small.
Yeah, I mean, I think having it be 1/2 the linear dimensions might be okay. I'm not sure it's needed. It's not particularly.
I mean, in some models, for example, the tree, we can show you the whole tree if it's strained. But it's probably at that point it's better to say information, comma tree.
No. Sorry, say that again.
That in like some models like decision tree, I could show you the tree there. I think I do show the tree there. But at that point, it's probably better to just say information model, comma tree and get the actual tree out.
No, I think displaying it, if you have something meaningful to display there, I think it's all good. But this.
Okay. Okay, so we do have internally a distinction between an icon and a plot. Yeah, if I can do the plot, like the concept of icon and plot. So I can say that no icon, yes, plot, for example, if I can
Yes.
actually give you the model. And now that you're adding the domain, we can actually plot it along the training domain to be a bit more meaningful.
Yes. I'm sorry, what? We want to plot it across the whole domain, as opposed to just a small piece of a.
Yeah, because
top.
right now you're just using a fixed range. Yeah, but
No, we shouldn't do that.
Yeah, but the developer is adding the domain right now in APR, so we can, as I said, when it is an icon, we just drop it. We don't show anything.
Okay.
When it's a
so
plot, we
if
plot along the
it's
domain.
across the domain, this might be more useful.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we should look at that again once we know.
The thing is, I tend to agree with your former self in a sense that when it's mole, it's always tricky to understand if it's going to be useful or not at that level of size. I want Jeremy's opinion as well here, but I mean, icons have their own identity in a sense, their own difficulty.
I think an icon is useful. I think if there's something genuinely, if we can genuinely convey information in that little box, then we should do it.
Mhm.
If it's just going to be some line that just sort of vaguely goes from bottom left to top right, I don't think it's useful.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, I'll add the range, have a look. If you actually can see something, I'll keep it. Otherwise, I just make icon blank for everyone in the summary box.
What do you mean blank? Do you mean not there?
No. I mean, I just blank replace the plot with an icon in the train case.
Oh, I see.
If it is not, yeah, sorry, just choose a word here.
Okay.
Okay, so we look at the typesetting, dashing. We look at the information. I changed the name as you suggested before with lowercase and
Yes.
separated, so it becomes like
Why
decision
is it
space
called
3.
name? Why is it name? Why isn't it something like type or something? Model type.
It used to be called type, and then I don't remember if you or Roger suggested name. So I changed it to name. It could be
Why don't
also
we call
called
it
type.
model type? 2 words.
Model type is fine.
I think name isn't right because name is usually for something like an entity where there are lots of them.
Yeah, I see. I also have a base type that I might decide to show. I sometimes put it in brackets. Is like if you are, we have an inheritance system. This system is expandable. People can write new model on top. Yeah. So if you want to write a model with very little extra, specification, you can start from nonlinear, for example. So like power, exponential, log, they are all like built on top of nonlinear. So the base type is nonlinear, and the model type, as we're going to call it, is going to be power exponential. I'm not sure
Well,
if it's
model
useful to
base
mention
type.
it.
Yeah, but I don't think we should mention it here.
Okay, let's not. I mean, I remove it because it used a bit. It didn't look so useful at some points.
Okay,
But yeah.
all right. Let's look at this model fit report.
So the one above is when you fit only one model, and I give you the basic information, like the type, like 3 useful quantities, like R square, the loss as we measure it. You can affect it with an option, what it is, and the bias. So like if your model predicts an average which is non-zero, the average residual is non-zero. Then you have a residual distribution, which you can spot immediately something that is often overlooked, if your residuals are normally distributed or not.
Right.
And if you click on top of it, you
Yeah.
have if you click on the residual histogram, and should probably make more visual hints about that, you get the residual, if it is one-dimensional ordered, you get the residual plot, the probability plot of a residual, and a larger version of a histogram.
Well, you've got to label those.
Yeah, those are they have a tooltip right now.
Residual quantile. Why don't you just have little labels here? Residual
Cannot
plot.
label.
Yeah.
I'm a bit unsure about how to hint that is clickable.
Well, obviously you've got to have something. So a plus sign would be an obvious thing to do.
On the corner, on the side.
Jeremy, you got a suggestion for that? Middle of the side, maybe? A plus?
That I think that aligns with what we do with alpha. Yeah, middle, right side.
Here.
Yeah.
Do we have a pattern from alpha? I don't know a sample.
It's like the plus sign for assumptions, I think. Centered to the right. It's like
Oh,
a
I
gray
see.
plus sign.
If you can point me to any, like just drop me a line on Rocket Chat with like any reference, like web or code. I can just take it from there.
Okay.
Okay, what's this?
So if you train more than one model, you can open that. You have that open a view. That because the one on top is always going to be the best model that we train. Yeah. But in this case, you can get like a hint at basically the performance of the other models. And
I'm sorry, I'm confused. This model fit report. Why don't we say
Close the thing that's open there, cross validation. Like so. So that's how it comes up normally. Yes, no?
yeah,
okay,
exactly.
but then this should say this says model type. And then but this should indicate it's the best fit. This thing here is the best fit. If you've given these,
We could call it, in that case, we could call it best model type.
no, but that's just saying no, because the whole thing is for this model, right?
Yes, correct. Oh,
So-
like a title for like above that, a title for that
Yeah,
section.
model fit report. And then here there's a title that says best model.
Mhm.
And then here, what is the heck is this even? Is this the other models?
Yeah, this is all 3 models that I trained.
Right, but
because,
so why is, okay. So then why don't we say best model and then other models?
it's not other. That's the point. Like I explained this in the documentation. The thing is, in order to pick the best model, you cross-validate splitting the training data in training
Whatever
and
this
testing.
is, it's wrong. Look at this.
Yeah, no, this is a bug in prototype. It's not there in. It's not
Okay,
there in.
all right.
in
So
master.
wait a minute. You're saying you're using the fitting that you did on the other models.
No, I mean, the point is that the polynomial model that is there is not the same that is above, because the one above is trained on the full data set. So first I train all the one you gave me, splitting, training, and testing. This allows me to pick the best one. Now, in order to obey what you ask for, I retrain that best one on the full data set. Yeah, so this is why you get slightly different performance metrics for the
I
retrained
wouldn't
best
know
one and
what
the others.
cross-validation information means.
Model selection information.
That's better. Best model and then models. Yeah, model selection information.
And then in order to make it like a card, I basically store the range for the Bose-Whisker plot. Yeah, I just noticed that I can put an N. It never happened so far, so I didn't notice. Basically, those are like superimposed the Bose-Whisker chart, so you can. This is just basically a little card for each one of them.
And I don't understand the scale on the loss distribution.
That's a loss. It depends on what the loss
What
for
does
these
the
is.
5, 6, 7 mean?
It's the value of the loss. You see that the loss of the best model is 5.75, so 5.74. That will depend on how good or bad the models are. I don't know that beforehand. I can put like a loss label for the axis, for example.
Yeah, but okay, then what the heck is this down here?
This is extra information about, the method for the cross-validation was k-fold with 5 folds, and the loss is a root mean square error.
Okay, I'm fairly confused here. And what is that? Okay. Roger, help me out here.
Yeah. So cross-validation is something you use to, so you partition your data, and then you give each model a shot at data,
Yep.
not everything. So
Yep.
then the question is, how does that model perform on the data that you didn't use?
Yep.
Because that tells you how well it generalizes and
Yep.
things like that. That's basically what's happening here. And the loss that's listed there, that's just the loss that's actually used to fit the model. That's what we minimize, the root mean square error, sum of squares, basically.
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute. Your loss is
Yeah, is that?
okay. Right.
Okay. Look. Okay. This is for the case where there are multiple models, right? So
Yeah. Yes.
this is
This only comes up there. There are other. I don't know
So-
where we do that, but those are callable, right? There are a bunch of other.
what is the heading? Model fit report, all camel case. That doesn't make any sense. There's no place where you can type that word in.
Right.
So
That's
don't
the
do
head.
it that way.
That's the head of the report.
But it's
called
not.
the
Because
symbol.
there
is
is no
called-
such head. You could say model fit space report. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh, I see your point. Yes,
That would make
but I
sense.
mean this
Model fit
this
space
actual
report.
thing that you're looking at is a model fit report
I
object.
know what it is.
Okay,
I know
okay.
what do you mean
Fine,
it's a
fine.
model
Just-
fit report object?
I mean, what's the head of this? This is not information. This is something you need to be able to call.
What does that thing do?
Yeah. What is that?
What should it be?
Well, what do we
Is
do?
is that a documented symbol?
Yes. I mean, we
What
can
do we do
change
in
the
other
head.
reports? What do we do in other reports?
For classifier, for example, we have it like classifier measurement object, for example.
Sorry, if I say information, comma report for a classifier, right? What do I
You know,
get?
if you have a classifier function and you do information, you get the normal information. But this is not information on the model. That's the normal information on the model. We need something else to store both the model, I mean, all the models we trained and the training data, so we can get statistics out of it.
So that was fitted model before.
Exactly. This is the equivalent of fitted model for this whole machinery that contains the data and the model.
But you can't use model fit report somewhere. This is an end of the line thing, right?
It is I mean, you can call it, you can use it to query properties. Yeah, more than what is just in the default type setting, as you can see here.
But I don't understand what. Okay, I don't understand this.
Hmm.
If you say information of a model, what do you get?
Scroll down what you had before in the next section. In the next section down here, model information there. Keep scrolling a bit. But this thing doesn't know anything about training or the data that you give during training, because that is not in the model.
So in this case, instead of model fit returning, what does model fit usually return?
The model, the train model. This is actually the equivalent. What I base this on is NetTrain. NetTrain by default returns a trained neural network, but you can also get a NetTrain report object.
So which means, Stephen, so that trained model doesn't have the data in it.
That's
Like our fitted
not
model
good.
had the data in it.
Sorry, that angle bracket 1 is not good.
Which one?
See
Sorry.
that there, that's silly.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what it's doing there. Yes.
Okay, now I'm sorry, what are you saying here? So the alternative to this is to say this thing, comma, report.
Yeah. I mean, you can say other things. You can say function, tabular function, expression, and report.
The brown color is unfortunate. I mean, that means it's an inactive object.
No, it's quantity.
Oh,
The unit. It returns minutes.
okay. What
Say
else can I put in
expression.
there?
Expression, for example, tabular function. This is the one that is taking the slots with the name. Expression.
That's nice enough.
And
Okay, all right, I get this, but now, so what report?
I have aliases. I mean, you can put report, fit report, or model fit report. They will all give you this.
Okay, but this model fit report thing, again.
So, but this can be queried.
Yes.
But so how do you know that? I mean, so when I see a report like that, it's not obvious that it can be queried. Actually, I should have caught this.
I guess same as information. You can query information data.
You can.
I think so. I've seen people doing that. I typically use information as a head with the second argument.
Oh yeah, if you use
But-
the command information, but that shield there you can't query, right?
I think you can try
Really?
name.
Huh? I didn't know that. Huh?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can.
Is not strictly speaking the same, because if you use information for access to the object, so you can get morphing. This can only get what is it
What's that
physically in
comma?
that.
What's that comma doing?
Not sure. Probably a bug. I'll have a look. It's a null. Yes, I think it's it should go. Oh no, I know what it is. I should remove it. Yeah, it's because I have no string for the icon. I didn't notice it was creeping into properties. I'll remove it. Oh wait, I think I cannot remove it because it's not there if you do.
Okay, you have to remove it. You cannot have a property that's a null string. Okay.
Yeah, no.
So figure out how to deal with it.
I'll do something else. Yeah. I need to change the way I structure this.
This is some silly thing where you're trying to avoid the label, right?
Yes, but I'm using
a hack.
I'm using.
How-
I would
how
use
do-
something different.
I mean, I guess I don't use information as much yet, but I would have never guessed that you could do this properties on it, on the shield.
Well, me too. I figured out last week because I saw people doing that. I mean, using information of object as a head, and then applying that to properties.
Maybe we should have a pop-up that says this.
I mean, in general, it's
Does
strictly better
properties.
not to do this. Yeah, because like this will have access only to the subset of information that is physically
whatever, but
present
I mean,
there.
both for this and for entities, I think it would be useful to have some way of indicating what you can do with it. Okay. In any case, I mean, that's not for this meeting, but we should discuss how to indicate something about this. Okay.
So back
So-
to the model fit report. You were
right.
saying.
Okay. So I agree that this can say model fit report if that's the function name. It's a little bit weird. And Roger, maybe you want to dig into this a little bit more, but
Yeah, so I mean, I'm
by
not.
the way, you're not doing this anymore. Polynomial paren 3, right? That's gone away, right?
Yeah, that's done. But no, I should reevaluate it. It's not there anymore already.
Okay, all right, fine. But then model selection information.
Mm-hmm.
This is model selection method, is that right? Or what is that method option?
Yeah, this is the cross-validation method, or the model selection metric, or method.
Okay, so model selection method. But what does k-fold, what does arrow 5 mean? That doesn't seem human.
It's 5-fold cross-validation. This is how you put it in.
Then why don't you write that out in some way? Right? Don't
spell it out. Okay.
Yes, I think so.
Like
And
parentheses,
is that a
5
function
folds.
I can call? If it isn't a function I can call, don't use it like this.
No, is a valid string value.
All right.
For
okay. That's all right. You can use that then.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why this is not aligned with the other stuff and so on. I am very confused. That relates to the whole set of model selection information, whereas this is a particular model.
Exactly.
But
The
this
card is a
down
particular model. Yes. I had it above model 1 of 3. I moved it down just a couple of days ago.
I don't know. It's better down.
Because it's less important. Do you want to look at the...
Also, this is way too big, isn't it? I mean, look at how fine-grained that is, and look at how coarse this is. Right? It's always going to be the same size. It's going to be a single box and whisker, right?
What? I don't understand. Oh, you want me to make it
too big physically?
The aspect ratio
relative to this? No. Look. See how thin those things are. See how thick this one is.
Yes.
Right.
And would it normally? Can't you just fit it as a right-hand side of loss distribution?
I would think so. Just lose the size.
If I make it smaller, yes.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's what you should do because it looks silly right now.
Yeah.
I mean, like above you have a graphical value. You happen to use a histogram, and down here you could have a graphical value, but it's a box whisker.
Right.
Yeah, I just wanted to make it full size to have more room to move.
Why?
It just has a bit more room to move left and right.
So what? I mean, it doesn't matter. You've got it's not containing very much information, right? It's just a yellow bar with whiskers at the ends, right? There's no other information. There's no more detail.
Do they all use the same X scale?
Yes, yes. This is why it moves. Yeah, if you click, it moves.
That's useful.
Is on purpose, so you can immediately locate your model within the group.
Yeah, well, that's nice. But so long as it doesn't jump, and it only jumps because
it only jumps because of that. Yeah, in general, it doesn't jump.
Right. So then I think you should just have loss distribution on the right-hand side here.
Okay. I make it a bit thinner and narrower.
Yes, just make it fit there in a reasonable way.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's next?
Okay.
So see whether you can make this a bit cleaner.
Yeah.
And to my mind, this is kind
because
of this is all in gray.
Then they will all line up, Giulio, and they'll all be can be gray, the same level of gray, and
no, but he wants to separate this off because it relates to all the models. It's the validation.
Oh, I see.
Method. But
I
that's
see.
okay. You can have it outside the box, but line it up.
I see. Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, it's lined up. Okay, again, you could have a thing that looks like this down under model validation information, line it up with the thing up here, and have one of these things up from there. Am I making sense?
Yeah, I'll see. I was aiming to do that. I didn't manage in the past few days, but yeah,
Okay.
and
all right.
that would be better.
Okay. All right.
Okay, we have a few more things. Let's see which hope
Yeah,
we can
let's
make
go,
it.
keep going.
Okay, net model name. You suggested
Perceptron. Net
Perceptron
model.
net model. Sold.
Okay.
Okay, training messages, and then we go to the meat. Problem. We do have, you look at this briefly last time, just probably wanted to relook at
Yeah.
this, I reckoned.
Yes.
So this is my kind of tentative proposal to be able to collect messages emitted during evaluation without polluting the message stack here.
Okay. During the optimization phase. I don't want to hear about that. That's your under the hood weird stuff, the optimization phase. I don't know what that means.
I mean,
During the
actually,
training,
it's kind of fine. I mean, he could say training phase, but
Well, I don't think we need to say training. The following, what other phases can it generate messages in?
no, yeah. I mean, it could be data validation, it could be model validation, but yeah, I don't have many phases actually right now that I think about it.
Okay,
I just
well,
could say just
So
during
what
training.
exactly happened here?
I mean, I call fit or find fit or whatever training function I have underneath, and it complains. For example, this power model is non-linear. If the coefficient is a non-integer, non-positive, I put negative values in here. So the
Okay, but
feature
isn't
is
it your
complaining.
responsibility to, I mean, the fact that you fed it to a model that was not a model that could do this particular thing is your mistake.
We can decide, but this is a. I mean, and I also have in mind to gate this specific behavior for something like power model where I know it doesn't work. But you have many other messages that are useful, like that the gradient is almost zero, the step is not reducing as much, or the accuracy is.
Yeah, but why isn't that just a message to model fit? Why is that a sub message?
Okay, in general, I don't simply recast messages with a different head because it might mean nothing. It's very specific to what happened.
I know, but so I don't understand. Is there a cascade of messages that come out because it's trying many different models? Or
Yeah.
what's the issue?
Yeah. I mean, each model could have its own, in principle. If
Well,
you have
what
like a
about
very
not generating messages until you know it's the model that it actually chose to use?
So I shouldn't tell you if one of the models that I'm cross-validating is not converging well?
Okay, what is your plan here? What does this power thing do?
If you click on it, you get the failure object out. Otherwise, you can get it programmatically from the fit report with a messages property.
Oh, that's horrible.
I mean, it is a new pattern, like, so this just, I mean,
We
wonder where
haven't used this pattern. We haven't
No,
used
I
it.
know we haven't used this pattern. That's why we need to discuss it.
Right. So the closest thing is the update message for WFRs, for example. Let's see. This is really stupid what it says here. You can see it has power model, and this is just saying model fit the following models. Oh yeah, the model I gave it has generated a message. Big woobly doobly. See what I'm saying? Doesn't make sense.
We wanted to
This
discuss.
silly.
Yeah, we wanted to discuss this, so I didn't put too much effort. But of course, I can have different paths if you have a single one or a list.
No, that's not my point. I mean, you mean single? Okay.
You could have power, exponential, and
why isn't this a message coming out from power model?
Are we fine?
I mean, the top,
with a different head?
Isn't that top? I mean, the top function here is model fit.
Okay. All right. Okay. So
I can give it as a message from power model if I'm allowed to.
No. Just a second. I mean, Okay, what kind of a thing? This didn't even generate a message. This is not, the following models generated messages, but it isn't a message. It's a failure object, which
It's
happens to contain a message.
It's a new pattern. We haven't not used this
This
before.
is not a good idea, as it is. Look, this is sub messages, basically.
I mean, let's try to maybe to clarify what we do want and what we don't want.
No,
one thing.
No.
Okay.
What you're trying to do is you're trying to have one master message because you don't want a spew of internal messages, and you want some way for people to look at the internal messages if they want to. Am I right?
Correct.
Okay, fine. So this is not a good pattern for that. The right pattern for that would surely be that it opens up right here. You see more messages. That this has some kind of plus that allows you to open to see more messages here. Noah would have a bunch of ideas about this. He's the one we should talk to about it. He's thought about similar things. That would be my suggestion, that we have a general pattern for a message that can have sub-messages. Okay, we don't want to see this stuff. This is garbage. We want to see that message there coming from power model, presumably. We don't want to see the word power because that's obviously wrong, right? Am I making sense what we want to see? So what we would want to see here is something like this, you know, ... model fit. And we don't want to say messages because that's not the point. Okay, and then when you hit the plus, it goes power model
Mm-hmm.
or whatever it is. It doesn't really matter. You can have whatever function name you want here. The Jacobian
because it's internal.
matrix.
Yes. So in this case, the find fit message, as you can see there. Could we say while fitting the models, if I have more than one?
Yeah,
I can differentiate
while
between the
fitting
two.
models.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that, and then a plus, and then it opens up. That would be my suggestion. Ask Noah if he has a better idea. Okay, and when it opens up, I would think what you should do is indent the sub messages and have a minus sign to the left. Am I making sense?
Not. I mean, indent, yes. What about the minus sign?
Well, you
Like,
want to be able to
just to
close
show.
this. You want to be able to close it, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? Whatever you
Yeah.
opened here, you got to be able to
Oh
close
yeah,
it.
I thought the plus would become a minus, but okay. Yeah.
Oh, that
Because
would
it
work
moves
too.
around.
That would work too. Yeah, that would work
Okay.
too. That's a better idea. Yeah. Okay, but then I would indent them slightly.
Yeah, for sure. Like the dot, like could be
I don't
after the
know.
dot.
Jeremy,
For
do you have an
example.
opinion here? If you were paying attention to this.
I was in Photoshop. You know, point me to where I heard what you said.
Okay. So this is for sub messages. So it's using counter while fitting blah blah blah, plus sign on the right there. And then the subsequent sub messages I'm suggesting get indented here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that can just work. But it's an interesting pattern that we should raise probably in an LCC meeting so other people are aware of it so we can use it elsewhere. But having a framework for that would be really good.
Yeah. No, I think that, I mean, I know we needed to innovate here, right? So we should discuss it. And if when we find what we want, then spread it.
Right. I think this is a decent direction. Okay, can we jump down here?
Why? Just one last thing. Why you don't like packaging the messages as failures? It's very easy to programmatically look at them.
No. I mean, if you want to get something programmatic out for messages, that's fine. Let's have another mechanism for that. Messages are messages.
Okay.
I mean,
then let's
getting the messages. I think it's thing we should have as a discussion of sub messages is the idea of getting all messages out as failures. Right. In fact, we should probably have a function that's called something like, this is a bad way to do it, which returns the evaluated expr together with a list of failures that were generated. So in other words, you are getting messages into, actually what this would be is reap messages or something. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is a good idea for a function, to get all messages into a programmatic form. I'm surprised we have never had that before.
Probably in a list, the second, if you want to match reap.
Yes, yes, yes. I like that function. Let's bring it up at ILD or LCC. Okay, can you do that, please? Or Avery, can you get that
Yeah.
sent in? This is a good idea. I don't know exactly the correspondence between message and failure, and I think, you know, modernizing message name after 40 years might be a good idea. Okay.
Okay, then final one. You didn't like the current order of arguments, which is right now is hyperparameters, if you have them, then add the input size or name for the dummy variables. And then optionally, you have a second argument with the parameters to match the same order as nonlinear model fit and other functions like dsolve.
Give me an
Now
example here. What are we talking about here?
For example, you could say nonlinear model fit,
Oh, yeah, right.
formula,
This is
comma
important. This
parameters,
is
comma
important.
variables.
The ability
Exactly.
to drop. Okay, so let's just understand what this means. What is the XY doing here? It's only, yeah, that's right. We discussed it last time. The only thing, it's only for decorative purposes.
Same as ABC.
No, it's not. It's decorative.
They are both decorative. They are dummy names, all of them. So the question is, which one do you want to drop first? You were suggesting.
Wait a second. If I say power model, if I say polynomial model of 5, that will be a degree 5 polynomial model, right?
Yes. Yes.
What the hell's missing?
They are dashes now. They are dashes. It's
okay,
a bin
all right,
fix.
okay, all right, fine. So okay, so the parameters are like, well, let's use a 2 here. The parameters would be ABC.
This is not what you expect. This is not what you expect because right now this is bound to the variable argument. So this is a degree to polynomial in the variables ABC. The meta here is which one do you want to go first? Variables or parameters?
I mean, but in find fit, it's these come first. It's like
yes.
This is how find fit works, and I think it's
exactly.
But
my point is that the point I'm trying to make here is that except for very special cases like low degree polynomials or like few columns in a power model or log model, you tend to have a lot of variables. And here I put 2 real world examples of like machine learning data set that you want to fit.
You mean lots of parameters?
Yeah, sorry, lot of parameters because they can go up higher than the number of columns as soon as you start combining them. And fewer variables. Plus, in all the models that are not strictly speaking formulas, like a decision tree or a neural network or a nearest model or a SVM, you might still want to give names to your columns, your variables, area, crop, yield, or whatnot, that are not just custom names, for example, and you don't care for the parameters. So my suggestion was to make, they are both optional, but you drop parameter first.
But they're in the order, parameters followed by variables, yes?
Yes, I mean, that would match what we do in other places. This is why it's optional second argument. We could even put parameter last argument if we want.
No.
Yeah, this is why it's not like this right now.
Yeah.
It's more coherent with the rest.
I'm confused by this.
Are there examples there?
Yeah.
Okay.
X sub
Yeah.
alcohol. That's very weird. As opposed to just alcohol.
I mean, it's indexed.
Why is that right?
Mm,
I mean, it's the
I'll-
alcohol column,
it,
right?
it,
So
it has to be a symbol. What can I do? I cannot put all. I mean, that
no,
could
no,
be a
but that
generic string.
you're hacking around the issue, right? You're hacking around the issue.
This is just to show it the formula. If you ask for a function or a tabular function, you will get hash alcohol as expected. If you do that comma formula, sorry, that comma tabular function, you see that correctly.
Which is useful because now validating is easy. Right?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. There was a bug that I fixed. I can show you what it is. But you saw it before. It's
Oh, yeah,
hash.
so hold on,
hash
hold on,
alcohol.
hold on, hold on, hold on. How do I refer to the alcohol content in that model? How do I get out? I'm very confused here. How do I? Yeah, go ahead to tell me. I mean, in other words, I've got this model out.
Mhm.
How do I get the predicted value for a certain alcohol and chlorides?
You mean the
understand what I'm asking?
coefficient or
No,
the
I mean the
output of the
expected
function?
value, the expected function value. The
You
thing
just
that-
applied that to a association or a tabular row.
Okay, so I'm applying it. Great. So I'm applying it to something that says alcohol, arrow, blah 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 blah.
Exactly.
So
I mean, if you
all we
evaluate the
have to solve.
data,
So
you can
wait. So
Yeah,
all we
sorry.
have to solve, and this is not a good solution, is how we indicate what is really essentially 0.4 hash alcohol, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the expression version of that, basically.
Why is there an expression? But this is the expression version of that. This is it. This is the thing which is the model. So if you apply that to the association, if I'm not mistaken, so let me just understand what would happen. Chlorides. Okay, so let's say I have this. I think it's just beautiful. We apply that to this, right? And Kabumosaurus, right?
Yeah.
So,
Should I
so
put
what we're
should
trying
I wrap
to,
function around it?
okay, just a minute. You're trying to make something which shows this. So normally you would have just an X here.
I mean, okay. Normally, I have x1, x2, x3. If you don't
Yes,
give
which you just made
anything,
up, right? But how do you
Exactly.
use that? What those things are really hash1, hash2, hash3, are they not? Or are they
hash part 1, hash part 2. Yes, but yes.
Okay, so they're really hash. They're really that, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know if this works, but yeah.
Yeah, it does. Or at least it did.
Yeah. Yes, that's extracting the slot arguments.
Yes.
Okay.
Amazing.
So
Okay, didn't know that.
okay, so really what's happening there is one of these things is hash part 1, which is really the X, right? As opposed
Yeah.
to this fake X dot. What I'm
Yeah.
thinking is that what we should do is it's not quite a placeholder, but it's something where, you know, you have in here, well, I'm trying to think.
Okay.
I don't think that's quite right.
So just a small thing, like we discussed this a couple of times ago, and we decided just as a small visual trick that if you only have one, we don't use _1.
No,
Only
I
if you have
understand.
more than one.
I
But
understand. I understand.
so
I
is the
understand.
problem just to find a better symbol than the placeholder?
Yeah, look, what I'm suggesting is the fact is, wait a minute. If you've got multiple things, X, Y, and so on, what you really want is hash sub 1, hash sub 2, etc. Correct?
Yes. Which is what happens.
Wait a second. But if you have just a single variable, you just want hash. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah, yes, in principle, yes. I mean, to visualize, yes.
Well, you're just feeding in the values right into
It-
this function, basically.
It will work if you put a list as well, because it's, strictly speaking, is a limiting case. So, but
Okay,
yeah.
all right, fine. All right, what I'm suggesting is, it's going to take just a little bit of thought here, that we have a notation, okay, in which, like the alcohol thing,
Mm-hmm.
you know, this is not the worst thing in the world. It's not quite visually right, but that's kind of what we want. Putting it as a subscript doesn't help anybody. See what I'm saying?
Mm.
And the X is super confusing because I didn't necessarily give, if I gave an X as the variable, then put in an X. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I didn't give an X, fundamentally you want a hash sign. I mean, we've got lots of functions that do put hash signs in there. And if we could make the hash sign display a bit more beautifully as something more like a box, which we can. I mean, this is a, our hash sign.
I mean, in the summary box, we can put whatever we want.
Right, but really it should be a box with little whiskers on it, rather than a full octothorpe, so to speak. Why did they call it an octothorpe? Does it have? Oh, it has 8 legs. Yeah, it has a total of 8 legs in its whiskers. I don't know what the thought comes from, but anyway, so look, I think this is a visual thing that we should try to get this to look as good as it can, but I think that we should fundamentally just use, something like this.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I didn't get your idea with the box with the whisker on it. Did you have any example?
Yes, I'm just saying that instead of an X, which is meaningless, right,
Mm-hmm.
or an X dot, which is even worse, that in the case where, and this will be a general thing for summary boxes that have things which are essentially hash signs, just a slightly more elegantly rendered hash sign. Okay, because it doesn't look, it needs to roughly look like an X, except it isn't an X, it's a weirdly shaped other thing. But it's just a thing that there's, right? Did you get what I'm
So
saying?
we're talking the default now. Like, so if, as you said, if you give an X, Y, etc.,
Yeah,
that's what we
then you get
use.
an X there.
That's what we use. So you
Right.
always have a way around whatever.
Right, but it's the same thing
Mm-hmm.
as if I say find sequence function
Yeah.
of power range.
Like if you don't give a variable, you get a pure thing.
Yeah, power range 1, 100, 2. You can't be serious. You can't be serious. That's just pathetic. Right? It's just 3 times 2 to the n minus 1.
Mhm.
Does it work without the -1 or the ×3?
I'm not interested.
I'm just curious to see the output because of what we were discussing before.
This is really pathetic. I mean, this is why I'm having so much trouble with this function. In any case, let's just get actual. Oh my God. Oh, come on, Roger. You
Yeah.
can't be serious. You can't be serious. This is garbage. This better be fixed in this upcoming version. This is really bad.
I bet it is fixed.
Well, I'm running the prototype build, so don't tell me that.
Okay.
This is running the prototype build, so that should not be a difference route, obviously.
Obviously.
I'm really very disappointed here. You can't be serious.
I don't know. There's something that's obviously not right here. I mean, either of these. I just don't.
That's better. That's the prototype breakage.
Yeah, I think it's something just
Okay,
broke.
but anyway, Julio, that's what it produces.
Okay. I see. And if you put, then you can put something after it to get a. Okay, perfect.
It should be the same way. It should work the same way.
Should I put the function symbol in summary box at the end?
I wouldn't bother.
Okay.
This doesn't, right? I mean, this doesn't make it a function, right?
No, it does.
Oh,
Yeah, it is.
It
function.
does. It does.
Yeah, I think we are discouraged to have wild slots in the wild. I mean, the summary box is not so important, but in the wild is more important.
Yes, yes. Well, you could put a little tiny ampersand and a gray, decorative ampersand at the end if you want to.
Okay. I'm still confused about which symbol to use here, but
Okay, well, I'm saying for now
instead of the
use
pound.
a hash sign, okay?
okay.
But I'm saying to Jeremy, I think we should get a redesigned hash sign that's a little bit more elegant to use in places like this. I mean, although the one we're using here is not terrible. That's just not going to look terrible. I mean, it's going to be if I say, expand, no, if I say factor, that's not the worst look in the world. I mean, the hash 1 is annoying.
I mean, you can say, I'm not going to say 1. I'm going to say index hash comma 1. Yeah, index hash comma 2. That will typeset
I
with
understand, but the problem is that the
subscript.
hash 1 hash typesets as hash 1. So you have to suppress that in the summary box. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, if you use a string or whatever, yeah, it's fine.
Right.
I understand the same point.
But you're saying if I said here, if we got rid of the ones there, I think
make it a string, and I think we're done. For the summary box, is not going to be an issue. Oh, it doesn't typeset if it's not a symbol. Okay.
You deal with this. You can deal with this. I mean, this
I will. not for you to deal with. I can just do subscript. Yes. That's going to be fine. Perfect. Yeah,
I don't think that looks bad, actually.
No.
And I think this,
exactly.
that really doesn't look bad. And it all makes sense, which is good.
Yeah, it is consistent with how you see it outside. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So let's just the final thing we wanted to do is this argument order, and I think the question is what the elision is for the arguments, right? That's the remaining question.
I strongly suggest to elide parameters because
fine.
Except for the polynomial model with a very low degree in all the other cases is less important than variables.
Well, you can't do something different with low degree polynomials.
Sorry?
Well,
No, that's not what he said. He just said That's the only case where you kind of want the parameters first, low, super low degree polynomials.
with few variables as well.
I
Few
understand, but you
variables.
don't want variables. So that then, are we
Mm-mm.
proposing a different default argument dropping for polynomial models than other things?
No, no. He was just
No.
making the case.
I mean, like, look at my examples. Like, this is like degree 2 or 3, which is not even gigantic, on 2 realistic data sets. You have 180 parameters. You're never going to specify those.
Yeah.
Like, give a manual name to those. You're going to get
So
tired.
I just want to clarify
10.
one thing. If I want
Yes.
this function out, how do I get it out?
Information, comma,
Oh,
function, or tabular
No, you
function.
lost the game. You lost the game. Cannot be that way. There's
What
gotta
if
be
you
a
click
simpler
the
way to
plus
get it
sign
out.
and
Click
have
to
click to
copy.
copy?
It's
Oh,
not
it's
I
not
that.
can-
there.
No, I mean, I remove it because but I can put it back. It's not an issue.
Put it back. I want to be able to get this out very easily.
But then why put it under the plus sign? I could just click on that directly.
Then do it.
Yeah,
Click
no,
it
I
and
mean,
get it
I'm
out.
suggesting it. I'm suggesting
Right.
it.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good idea. But there should also be a programmatic way to get it out that isn't some crazy thing. Does this have sub-values or not?
Yeah, to evaluate it. I mean, we discussed this early on. Information will get properties out. Sub values will get valuation.
What about normal?
Normalize the formula. Yeah, good point. I don't think we use it for anything right now.
Let's do that. It seems like an obvious thing to do because it really, the polynomial model part of it is decoration.
What about models that do not have a normal form outside for this?
Like what?
Decision tree, nearest
We had a
neighbors.
decision tree function. Well, it just return itself. Normal
Okay,
of it
so
just returns. I mean, it's like
normalizes
normal
to
of X
itself.
returns X.
Yeah, fine. Yeah. Just checking. Okay, then final question. I think we're done. Finally, do we want to make any, not at all of this experimental for the first release?
Let's make it experimental. The whole.
Okay, I don't want to keep it experimental long though, yeah, because
No,
I
I
think
know.
this is meant to messages that we are here to stay with this.
Yes, it's good and important functionality, but let's keep it experimental for one version. So in 5.1, we expect to promote it.
Okay, great. It's just in the remote chance we are not, we made a mistake with this syntax.
15.1.
15.1, yes.
What did I say?
5.1.
That was a long time ago.
Yes,
The good old 5.1.
that was a good release.
Don't remember it actually. I think we were rushing towards version 6 at that time. Anyway.
Yes.
Okay, this is very nice functionality, very important functionality. I look forward to using it. Don't forget to document the normal thing. I think that will be very useful.
No, I will add support and documentation like now.
All right, sounds good. Okay.
Okay, are we done? I think we're done.
Yes, we're done for this. Yes, we are
Great.
indeed.
We're gonna merge everything. Thank you.
Right. Roger, just for your information, we are going right into another design review.
Okay. In a different.
It's a different session. Yep.
Okay. See you there.
So people who are joining us on the live stream, we'll see you in a moment. Bye for now.